Two FPV antennas look the same, but do they perform the same? We're going to find out. Stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Edrone here, and today we're going to be taking a look at two antennas and putting them head to head. Taking a look here on the bench, we have these two FPV stubby like antennas, and at first glance they actually look the same. However, if we take a look a lot closer, we can see a lot of differences here. So the one on the right is the Lumenier Axii Stubby, which is 5.8 gigahertz, and it is right-hand circular polarized. The one on the left is the RealACC UX2 5.8 gigahertz FPV antenna, and it is also right-hand circular polarized. The Stubby, you can see, has more of a shinier finish, whereas the RealACC is more of a matte finish. Try to get this in focus so you can see. But you can see here, this one has more of a shine to it, whereas this one is more of a matte finish. They are roughly the same size, however, there is a little bit different shape. So if you take a look here, you can kind of see that the one on the left, the RealACC, is a little bit more cylinder looking, whereas the Axii Stubby is not quite as cylinder looking. Kind of looks almost like a balloon or a propane tank type. But they're both very small, and they're supposedly supposed to perform around the same, but there's a huge price difference. The Lumenier Axii Stubby you can pick up online for around the $20 mark, give or take some here or there, whereas the RealACC Stubby clone, Chinese clone, you can pick up for like $7, which is like ridiculously cheap. So what I want to know is, since there's such a huge price difference, is the performance that big of a difference as well? So what we're going to do is we're going to put each one of these antennas on my Martian 2 here. We're going to do two different flights. I'm going to try to fly the most same that I can. We're going to fly behind some trees here on the property and just see if we can do some comparison and see how the breakup is on one versus the other. And they just basically just screw right on the back here to my SMA connector there. As far as presentation, hands down, I got to give it to Lumenier, obviously. I don't have the original packaging, but it's kind of like this. They give you a nice plastic case, and then when you open it up, it sits in foam, kind of like this piece right here. There's a little sneak peek for you. More to come on this in another video. But yeah, check it out. So this one came, the Lumenier actually comes in a nice plastic case with nice foam protection, so it's a very good presentation. Whereas the RealACC comes in a cheap box. It's a very, very, very cheap box with some foam inside, and it's actually stuffed in here. Even though you can see this is clearly meant for a longer size FPV stubby antenna, they just stuck it in there as well, and they just shoved it in there, and that's what you get. But it's only $7, so you have to see they got a cost somewhere, and maybe some of the cost was in the packaging, we hope. Alright, so here we go. The RealACC clone is obviously on the left, and the Lumenier Stubby is on the right. Now, I don't want you to pay attention to the noise in the video. That's those white lines you see right now. That's just the noise. What we're looking for is breakup. We're looking for like static lines, and I'll give you an example of that. There's some right there. See where it flickers? The flickering and the static lines is what we're comparing in these two antennas. I did fly these on the same day. They were about maybe an hour apart on the time. I wanted to try to make this as close of a comparison as I could. I tried to fly around the same characteristics around the back of the trees and so on. But you'll see when I go behind the trees, that's where you start to get the real bad flickers. And that's because the trees hold moisture, which blocks the RF signal. Now, wet bricks also will give you kind of the same result if you're flying somewhere and you have like bricks that have been recently got wet from the rain. You'll notice the same kind of thing with the breakup. But right off the bat, I have to say these two antennas to me performed very, very similar, very close. If there is a difference, it's so subtle that I can't really tell, and that's a good thing, because when you look at the price of the Stubby, $20, and you look at the price of the clone, $7, that's a big price difference. Now, I'm all about supporting, you know, the original maker of the technology, and that would definitely be Lumenier. However, if you're on a tight budget, you know, $20, between $7 and $20 is a big difference. Now what I like to do is go ahead and slow down the footage to about half speed. That way we can take a look at these flickers a little bit more. But just notice when I fly behind the trees, look at the static lines on both of these antennas. And I gotta tell you, they're really, really close. Now the only thing I can't say is the longevity of the clone. And that might be where the price differs so much. I don't know how well it's going to hold up in crashes, and how it's going to perform after being crashed, you know, over and over again. And that might be where the Lumenier Stubby outperforms this clone. I'm not sure about that, but I will let you know as the time goes on and I fly both these antennas, because the RealACC clone antenna is going to be going on my new build, and obviously the Stubby is going to be staying on my Martian 2. So we'll definitely be able to do another video in the future comparing the longevity of both. But both of these links for both of these antennas are going to be in the description. So if you want to purchase any one of these antennas, the links are in the description. But I really have to give it to the RealACC. I mean, the fact that they're able to make the same technology and actually works decently good and is comparable to the Stubby antenna for a fraction of the price, $7 compared to $20. I mean, that's a $13 difference. And if you're constantly crashing and going through FPV antennas, coming up with $20, you know, each and every time, that can be hard to do. But coming up with $7 definitely could be a lot easier. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did you see one outperform the other? Put it down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. More FPV videos to come and more drone builds. Thanks so much, guys. Edrone out.